first thing we're going to talk about is
San Antonio tiny houses, right?
right.
Would you guys ever, I guess we'll talk about if you guys could live in a tiny house.
I could live in a tiny house. The only problem would be the tiny yard.
Tiny yard.
Oh, with 4 old English sheepdogs, that could be a problem.
But define tiny. Like, how tiny is tiny house?
About up to 1,300 square feet, 1,500 square feet.
That's not too bad.
You know, but you can get a tiny home as less as 600, 700, 800. Elon Musk owns one company called Boxable.
It depends how tiny it is, right? So, it depends how big your family is.
I mean, the homes that are small, it's interesting how Lennar Homes, who's one of the biggest home builders, they're starting this project in San Antonio. So, we're ready to rock and roll? So, good morning everybody, welcome to the Texas Real Estate Show. As always, we're a little bit late because we're just chatting about real estate. For anybody that's interested in real estate, wants to be more educated in real estate or wants to know the market, we are your resource, not just in Texas, but nationally. If you have a question or you want to know more about any particular subject or trending subject, please do not hesitate to contact us directly. I'm joined this morning, as always, by Laura, the Lone Lady.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Laura?
I'm doing better than yesterday.
You are? Well, that's good, because I know you had a rough week last week, didn't you? You wasn't well.
No, but it's all good.
Oh, no, you was out of town, wasn't you, last week?
Last week I was out of town. So,
And
we're
we
all
normally,
good,
yeah,
up and running.
and we're normally joined by Courtney, but Courtney's sick this week.
No, she's sick. So it seems to be going around.
So anyway, the first point we're going to talk about this morning is tiny homes. Lennar, who's one of the biggest home builders, are building tiny homes in San Antonio. What's your feeling on that? What's the feeling on that, Laura?
Well, it depends how tiny the home is, right? And depends on the family size. So if, if we're starting to shrink down, well then possibly that's not such a bad idea.
Well, tiny homes can go as little as 500 square feet and they can go up to maybe 1,100 square feet, but they've basically got a small yard, an inviting front porch. The newly built houses along a short street in an established neighborhood in far northeastern Bexar County have all the trademarks of a single family home. What makes them unusual, perhaps at least for a house in San Antonio, Texas, is the minimal size of not just the house, but also the lot. Another key difference is the price tag, which is just over $150,000. More small home developments like Elm Trails could be coming to the solution to a nationwide housing shortage and the rising cost of building materials, but only if cities allow it. I can't see why cities shouldn't allow it.
I mean, tiny homes, wow, 500, it's super tiny. That has to be for like a single person or a family of 2, but yeah, that's like almost a dorm.
Well, I don't.
Would you be able to live in a 500
Yeah,
square foot?
but not on a small. My problem's a small lot because of my old English sheepdogs. That would be my problem with the whole thing. The average size, I don't know if you know, in the state of Texas for a home is anything between 2,200 square feet and 2,500 square feet. But.
And that's just enough space, I think.
But when you talk tiny homes, the average tiny home, I believe, is, I don't think it goes on a bedroom. I think it's basically just a living area, a kitchen area, and bedroom space. I don't think it's necessarily a private bedroom.
You think they did away with the master bedroom and
Yeah, and I think that's what my impression is of a tiny home. If it's a 2-bedroom tiny home, which I know you can get, then you might get that on the second floor, which has a bit more privacy. But normally, my belief with a tiny home is it's basically what it is. It has a living area, it has a kitchen, and it would have a bedroom area, all sort of in one space. I know there's a company out there called Boxable. I believe Elon Musk might own that company, but Boxable, they have some different designs on tiny homes, which are pretty interesting. Let me go in and see if I can put Boxable.
I have seen the tiny homes, like there's a series for tiny homes, and I have seen the ones that are in containers. Now those are pretty neat after they, decorate them and make them livable. I think those are pretty neat.
Well, the thing is with a lot of tiny homes like Boxable, they can actually be like containers. They can be placed on top of one another, And I think what's happening at the moment, because
here it is. They have 1 bedroom, 1 bath, starting at $135K.
And what is that? A container home?
No, this builder in San Antonio.
Yeah.
1 bedroom, 1 bath. 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, $184,000.
See, I think that's expensive for a 2-bedroom.
That is expensive.
For how much square feet?
For $741. 2 bedroom, 2 bath. It's like,
How many square
I
feet?
think apartments are bigger than that.
Now my apartment is bigger than that.
There's a 2, and that's 1 story. If you want a 2-story, you can get a 2-story, 2 bath, 2 bedroom for $1,013. So pick your poison, right? But that is a tiny home. I don't know. There's another one that says 3 bedrooms, 2 baths
The
for
trend-
1,018. How are they? If it's 1,018, I'm pretty sure it's probably not going to have that.
When you say that square feet,
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's not going to have that master. What's
It-
that
it doesn't-
new
the-
term now? It's not called a master bedroom or bathroom.
everybody shares the bath.
So
The
may not have a tub, it may not have walk-in closets. So
yeah, the
Very restricted
tiny
space.
houses that I've actually seen are the tiny houses that I've seen are basically have sort of had an open living area. So as I said, you've got the kitchen area, you've got the living area, and you've got a bed in a corner with maybe a little closet to the side.
like a New York flat.
Right,
That's what
yeah,
you're-
basically.
Yeah.
And what's also interesting about it is when you buy a tiny home, it comes with all the appliances. All the appliances are included.
I sure would hope so, because to try to find an appliance that fits a certain particular small space,
Do you know?
it would be a challenge.
Do you know what my challenge would be? Where do I put all my crap? Like living over a time, you sort of build up, housing stuff. Call it what you want.
You don't do
Would
like
it-
spring cleaning, fall cleaning, everything that you haven't used in 6 months, 12 months, just out the door?
No.
No?
Is that something you think I should do?
Yes,
My
you
wife
should.
wants me to do it.
You need to.
She's desperate for me to do it. Where do I put all my sports stuff?
Oh, you
all
have
my
sports
sports,
memorabilia.
memorabilia.
Yeah. No.
I mean, come on, you've only got to walk downstairs and you've got to see, some of the stuff I've got on the wall. What do I do with that?
We have a lot of memorabilia.
When
that is true.
when my dad passed and I went to England, I mean, we was throwing stuff away that was just, because we couldn't bring it back. And he'd collected it all over the years, which was really interesting.
No, I do spring cleaning and fall cleaning. like toys, clothing.
So you got
everything
fall
goes
cleaning coming up.
out. Yes, that's on Labor Day weekend, which is around the corner, but that's done twice
Yeah,
a
my
year.
my wife's hollering at me at the moment and says that got to get the garage cleaned over the fall when it's a little bit cooler outside.
So moving into a smaller space, yes, that would be probably feasible for me because I don't keep anything that. I mean, I have one box for each child to collect stuff for them throughout the years if they want to keep it when they grow up. But other than that, everything goes out the door after 6 months or a year that's not used.
That's interesting. That's an interesting family philosophy.
Gotta keep it sleek clean.
And let's go to the size of a shed. TikToker roast San Antonio's 130k tiny homes. So let's see what some of the people out there.
Roasting them for it.
Sometimes the best things come in the smallest packages. In this case, it's a home with all the trappings wrapped up tightly in a 350 square foot bag. However, not all small things come with a small price tag. Looking at you, Apple.
Let's see.
Lennar is the proud owner of one of the newest tiny home neighborhoods in the San Antonio area, located south of Converse and Schwartz of Walsham Road. The community of Elm Trails is offering prospective home buyers one-bedroom tiny homes starting at $131,999 for 350 square feet. There's your answer. The model homes equipped with a kitchen, stocked with their stainless steel appliances, living room, bathroom space for a washer and a dryer, and a loft. So there's your answer, 350 square feet.
Let's see what this guy says.
That's $100,000, right? Are you telling me that these fucking things
Oh my god.
are $100,000? What the? You're fucking kidding me. You've gotta be fucking kidding me.
Well, don't really approve of the language, but bottom line is, you can see his point. I guess he's making a point of it. You know.
Yes, that is true.
But the real problem is at the end of the day, we have a housing crisis. We don't have the inventory that we should have.
You know what those houses reminded me? Those houses reminded me of the houses that were built for the soldiers after World War II, where they were giving all these houses and they were all tiny and they're all lined up in a neighborhood, which we have some of those here in the Houston area. That's what that reminded me of. Which was back in 1946.
Wow.
Way before I was born, but
I don't know if I'd be able to live in a house that's 350 square feet. And then I would just be upset every time I woke up and I remembered that I paid $130,000 for that.
Well, do you know what it says?
I mean, you're probably going to hear the neighbors'
It's
children
but it's
screaming,
$377 per square foot.
dogs barking. There's no privacy.
So then you might as well just suck it up and buy a real house, you know?
You know, so
Yeah, those are extremely small and extremely close.
yeah.
The only thing that makes sense is if they're downtown, you know? If they're
Bless you,
downtown-
neighbor. I just heard you sneeze.
And let's talk about the housing market's inventory crunch deepens as listings fall. Inventory again is dropping, which makes it very, very difficult. The total number of holes dipped by 9.2% from a year ago, the fourth consecutive month of annual declines, but total inventory has been rising on a monthly basis and is up 19% since January. That's not as it is for the Houston area. I think each area is different, but the Houston area, to be perfectly honest, we have really struggled in relation to, we've very much struggled with, you know, the inventory in the Houston area. It's becoming increasingly difficult. Central Houston has basically turned itself into a rental market with very little sales. You know, it'd be interesting if there's anybody out there where the same thing has been happening to their local areas. I'd love to hear from them. But a lot of people are moving out to the burbs, which I think will continue. You know, we have an office down in Lake Jackson, Brazoria area, and that area hasn't been affected as much, but I still think it's been affected.
And I think a lot of families are looking to buy outside of the city also because of tax purposes. It's more affordable, and housing is a bit more affordable being inside the city.
And if you look at one of the I don't know if you noticed one of the clicks on Discord that we had there, where it says the housing market crunch, inventory crunch. If you click that and you visit the site, and then as you go down, it goes read next. Do you see that? Go down. There you go. Home buyers had 45,000 fewer homes to choose from in July. Go to the top.
Yeah, I was watching a report yesterday, and they said that there is one house available for every 3 realtors that are out there active. So that is.
So we're still getting multiple offers on properties?
There are some properties. I think the ones that are getting the most traction are any of the properties are between the 200s to the 250s, 260s are the ones that are getting still traction, right? The ones a little bit above that in the 300s, not as much as the 250s. So at least within the city limits, because that's still very.
And then we've got mortgage rates. They're still remaining up there at 7% for the 3rd week in a row. And I can't see them dropping in the near future, can you?
Well, we're supposed to see, you know, it all depends, like we've said, it, you know, feds, jobs, inflation, all of that gets tied down with the rates. But we have seen quite a few weeks where we were urging everybody to lock their rates, especially because the rates were kind of hiking up there. And people who did not do it, you know, about 3 weeks ago really suffered the consequences a week later. So it's not pretty, but on positive note, there are loan programs like sponsored by the state for first-time home buyers that the down payment assistance program actually that rate is better off than, you know, a standard rate out there. So for those people that do qualify, you know, that and are first time home buyers, they can benefit out of that.
They're a step ahead of the ball game.
They'll get down payment assistance along with that, so that's even
do you think
better deal.
Do you think the mortgage rate may drop before the election because it's such a hot topic?
We all hope so. You know, we all hope for the best. And
what do they say?
We do
expect. Was it
plan for the worst?
Plan for the
hope
worst
for the best.
and hope for the best. And then,
but you know, in reality, you know, buying a home always, you know, you in that gap, and you start your gap of wealth. So it's always good to buy. So for example, even if the rates are where they're at today, within a year's time, let's say rates don't drop until after the election, well, you have not been wasting $20, $30, $40,000 paying on a lease, and all of that money is going already to
Right.
a principal. And then a year from now, you can refinance, and you'll be saving.
The thing that's killing me
Quite
on
a
my
chunk of
on my on my property investments at the moment, I'll be honest with you, the thing that's really killing me, it's not the interest rates, it's the insurance and property taxes.
Yep.
Them are the two things that's absolutely killing me, because it's leaving. If I don't put my rents up to my tenants, it's leaving very little on the table. And all I need is a major. And also what's happening is the insurance companies are now doing exclusions for the roof if it's not, if it hasn't been updated in 10 years or
10 years,
whatever.
right, that you can exclude it.
And so it's just making it so difficult. But in some ways, if there's less investors on the market, then I think it's better for homeowners to get a bite at the cherry. Can we bring up your image that we had? Can we bring up Laura's image? So we can get on the screen, because I think that's important. This is just something that Laura had, which I thought was really cool. She sent it to me this morning, and I decided to request that we put it on the Texas Real Estate Show. And he basically says that, we just used $500,000. I mean, you could buy yourself a really beautiful home for $500,000, but that's not through everybody's rate. And I think you could buy a cheaper home than $500,000. But if you got the loan amount and you got the deposit to put down, and it says basically, you wait 1 year, so you're expecting the rates to come down in a year.
Right. I mean, most of the time, once the dust settles after the election, and rates do drop, our hopes is that we can refinance, have another refi boom, right? For those eligible for it at that time. And once they refi, they're going to be saving a little bit over $600 a month, But the brownie point here is that they're going to be paying themselves, if they buy now, because instead of wasting those 20, 30, 40 grand, just, kicking it out the window to somebody else.
Yeah.
So,
and also they're building equity as well.
correct.
I was listening to an article this morning actually on Yahoo Finance, and it was saying that through the course of a 30-year mortgage, they reckon that you, with the increase over a time, that if you stay to a 30-year mortgage, that you can basically, build maybe $500,000 in equity.
But in reality, most Americans, like after, they're gonna own probably 2 properties or 3 properties in their lifetime, right, at the max. So because they might get a starter home, and then they might get a newer home.
They
or
keep it for a
maybe,
rental home. Right.
So there's always that benefit that they're always going to build equity on it once you buy a property, and you're always going to benefit out of it. And with leasing, you don't benefit out of anything. You don't get anything in your return.
Right. I agree.
And although rates can seem scary for some people at this time, I always tell them to, look at the home, make sure that home it's the right fit for you, and then even if you start at a starter home, that's always something great to start at the, something affordable, and then you can grow from there. It doesn't always have to be a big trophy house at the beginning.
Well, the chances of that I think are very important. I think are very few for a lot of people.
Especially for those young adults that are starting to adult, right? Those millennials.
Well, I remember when I spoke to a couple of people when we had the COVID epidemic, and they decided they was going to work from home, and they moved out from the city. They bought bigger homes because they wanted an office area in their home. And some of them are they're finding it a bit of a push at the moment. you know, because they're asking me, well, you know, what should we do? What do you think the future beholds? And I says, well, I haven't got a crystal ball, but the truth of the matter is, I said,
Don't.
you know, no, I don't. Sorry, guys, I don't. But the truth of the matter is, I said, you know, even now the price of the property that they purchased has gone up. The people that are really suffering are the people that bought from new home builders.
Yes, I believe so.
You know, they're behind the ball. We had a lady in the office the other day. She bought a house from a new home builder, and because they was overpaying, and I really think the appraisals were being overinflated, because it's so easy to overinflate the appraisals, especially in a new subdivision. They're very smart on how they do that. You know, they give all these incentives away to overappraise the property, and they do that maybe for the first 3 or 4 houses, and then all the other houses go on that appraisal. It makes millions of dollars more for the builder. And I think, you know, she came to me last year, she said, you know what, the first year, she said, a house over the street sold for an extra $75,000 more than what I paid, and now houses in that subdivision are not going for the same type of money.
Yeah.
They're about, you know, 10-20% down
20,
on them.
30. Yeah.
Because
That's
they overpaid on the property. So while the property was being built, the prices were going up, but that now the prices are sort of, now the community is settled and it's a proper community, the prices have gone down. So anyway, do you have any?
And then I always think about it. The builder is always there to look after themselves. They're not out there to look after the consumer. They're out there to make
The
money.
part that really concerns me about a lot of builders is that people do not understand that the people they speak to are not licensed agents.
Mm-hmm.
They are employees of the builder. They only have the builder's interests at heart.
Right. That's why they need a good agent and a
You
good
know,
loan officer
you
that's
know.
going to look for the best interest.
And because the builder's turning around and saying, well, we'll give you $10,000 of upgrades, you know, if you use our lender and our title company and all the other things that go with that, my answer to that is, come on guys, lighten up a bit. There's got to be a reason why they're giving you an extra $10,000.
Yeah.
You know, there's reasons for it. Would you
What do
rather
they say, the
would
house
you rather
never
pay at the
loses?
front end, or would you rather pay over the 30-year term, which cost you a lot more money?
Yeah, the house always wins, so the builder will never lose a dime.
You
They
know?
will cry about it. They will tell you they're losing their back on it, but they're in reality not losing their back.
You know.
They're just structuring a certain way to make the consumer believe that they are getting the best deal out there.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, any else that you wish to bring forward? I think that's a really good. Personally, I think that's a really
they shouldn't
good.
be anybody who's out there, you know, trying to decide whether it's a good time to buy. I would say don't shy from buying now, because a year from now you can refinance and get that interest rate once this election is over, and in the meantime you have owned your home and you have the space, the whatever it is that you
And you have more choice now.
fulfills, and then it's a buyer's market, right? So
Yeah.
you have options other
Well,
than
because-
before that it was a seller's market. You were trying to bid against everybody in the world.
Well, I don't think it's. I wouldn't say it's a buyer's market at the moment, but I think there's a shortage of listings. In our area anyway at the moment. But the truth of the matter is, think what the amount of listings is going to be when the interest rate drops, and how many buyers are going to want that property. It's more competition at the moment. You haven't got as many listings as we'd like, but the truth of the matter is, you know, you're in a better position to go buy your property
And you're
because you've got less competition, so you can negotiate more.
Right.
A good agent knows how to negotiate, and you get a good loan officer, and a good loan officer will you know, throw ideas with one another and
strategize.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because that's what it really is. A good loan officer at the end of the day will have a strategy for buying a property.
Right. So, and another thing why I say it's a buyer's market, it's because sellers do not want to keep their houses in the market for a long time, so they're more willing to negotiate, incentives, or not only the builders, but, pre-owned homes. So that's why you have more options now than we had a year ago.
Right. Okay. That concludes another Texas Real Estate Show. Anything else you want to bring up?
No, just hope everybody has a safe
Labor
Day that is coming up on Monday. So
Yeah, what do you do on Labor Day? What's your thing?
I am going to go see a comedian on Sunday.
Comedian?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, a Tex-Mex comedian.
A Tex-Mex?
Is it fluffy?
Oh no, he's not Tex-Mex. No, this is a real Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
Cristela Alonso.
Oh, okay.
She has a Netflix special, so she's pretty funny.
Okay. I'm hoping to take my wife out to a local barbecue place.
Local barbecue. Oh, we want to hear about that.
Yeah. I like peppers. I'm a peppers lover.
Papa's.
Yeah.
You should try Dimitri's.
Dimitri's?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a regular run-of-the-mill barbecue place, peppers, but I think I like the ambiance.
The vibe.
Well, whenever I go to a restaurant, to me it's about the experience, and it's more than just the meal. And I think when you go to Papa's, they're all the same. I mean, it's part of a chain, but I just think it's...
You should try something outside the box. Try Dimitri's.
What was the name of that place that we went to? We went down to... On my birthday, you took me there, but I paid.
The name. I can't remember the name of that place, but it was good. They had a lot of
Burger
Barn?
The Burger Bar, was it?
I think it was Burger Barn.
Yeah, the Burger Barn on 35 in Brazoria.
Yeah.
And it was
pickles for the first time.
And it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fried pickles for the first time?
Yeah.
It was like, what is
Yeah.
that?
That's not an English dish.
It's an American
It's
dish.
so good.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll wrap it up there. We'll call it a day. I appreciate everybody that's listening to us. As I said, please comment, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to post them in the chat. If there's anything that you would like us to cover, put it in the chat, and then we will get Kay to get on that for us. But we appreciate your time. Have a good week. Have a good Labor Day. Stay safe, and ta-ta for now.